right now at these OTAs, Dan, we're seeing Patrick Mahomes back in the building. Obviously, he's been doing his thing. He's the face of the NFL. He's back in the building for OTAs. You got Aaron Rodgers back in the building. You got Justin Herbert back in the building. And now everything's happening. What should we be taking away from these practices and these videos that we're seeing? And what are your thoughts where we stand right now with some of the young bucks and where they're headed?
Yeah, I mean, I think in relation to Patrick, if we're being honest, the Chiefs have had a very loud and noisy and probably not ideal offseason when it comes to the off-the-field stuff. And so I think this is when you're the face of the NFL and just the elite talent, you lose sight of some of the intangible stuff. And at least we do in regards to that. And I think right now we'll see itself play out eventually, the leadership of Patrick, because obviously Rashee Rice has gotten his name into the conversation a little bit, and Wanye Morris, their potential left tackle, and Harrison Butker. There's just been a lot of maybe not glowing positivity when it comes to the organization or some of their players. And so I think Patrick's going to be challenged a little bit with his leadership to make sure they can stay as focused as possible on the three-peat. I think that's one of the things that we constantly overlook when it comes to Patrick is that. So just watching how he leads throughout all of this will be something that to kind of pay attention to with Aaron in New York. We had Joe Buck on yesterday and just talking about the opener for Monday Night Football. I'm just so excited to watch Aaron and Garrett together because that was one of the things that I was looking forward to last season was I thought Garrett had the chance to be in that conversation for Offensive Player of the Year just because I obviously have tremendous respect and appreciation for how ridiculous Aaron is. And I think Garrett is a superstar. And, to have almost 100 catches and over 1,000 yards last year with, not high-level quarterback play. I just want to see those two dudes go to work and become one of those quarterback-wide receiver duos that is one of those special ones in the league. I think Herbert and with the Chargers will be a lot better than people expect just because the style of play and the coaching ability. I think for the rookies, there's a nerd element of that playbook stuff that I kind of just got bored.
Did great.
Yeah. Great shit.
Did great.
Yeah, I just got bored and was like, hey, because the next 2.5-3 months, the conversation around these guys is always going to be, should they start? When should they start? Is he ready? All that, and I just thought it would be interesting for people to see to be able to answer that question, yes or no. This is all that they have to learn to then go out and give themselves the chance to go play and maybe earn that starting job. And it's just so much. I wanted, fans to have a little bit of a greater appreciation for it's more than, hey, here's your play call, go out there and find the open guy.
Well, I think it did a great job of explaining all that. And if you have it, you would assume that all these guys that were drafted high have the capability to retain all that information. But that is something that teams are going to find out now for real, right? With all these guys and through OTAs, can you decide and decipher if somebody's going to be able to get it quick enough?
Yeah, I think that you when during OTAs and mini camps, I think you can walk away in regards to a player and be like, we can give him more and he can handle more. I think once you give them that information, I've said this before, you guys have heard me say, I think every quarterback in the NFL is accurate. Not all of them have really good ball placement. Every quarterback in the NFL is intelligent. All of them could sit there, take stuff in information in a meeting, get up on the board and recite it, talk about it in a meeting room. 99% of them. When you give those guys all that information, all they have to handle when it comes to the different personnels and the cadence and how they're going to communicate in the huddle and the different play calls and the situational football, and then they're able to go communicate at a little bit different level in the huddle instead of just calling, hey, we're going to get into double right, 2-jet, all go orbit on one, getting into the huddle and be like, hey, fellas, it's 1st and 10 here. If you get that safety play in the over the top, make sure you bend in a little bit. Come back to the football if you're the outside guy, back, get out. We're going to go double right, 2-jet, all go orbit on one. Hey, offensive line, make sure you chip. When you hear your young quarterback to be capable of that, that's when I think you walk away and be like, oh, we can give him more. I was thinking about it this morning. CJ, in part, had that year last year, at least in my belief, because of the way that Ryan Day coaches those quarterbacks at Ohio State. They huddle. They have long play calls. CJ's got to make sure that there's different levels to his communication within the huddle. I think that really was like a huge foundation for him and his success.
CJ on our show actually said that. I think he said because of Ohio State and because of Ryan Day is why he had such a jump start on everything mentally. He thought, and then he also complimented, I think, the Big Ten for the defenses that you play against. He gives the perfect answer for everything. Obviously, everybody is hoping that they have a quarterback like that. Go ahead, AJ.
Dan, if you were in Atlanta right now and through training camp, I know Kirk Cousins is coming off that Achilles. How would you split up reps between he and Penix? I know you want Penix to develop, obviously, and all this, but Kirk, he's on a new squad as well. Like, how would you kind of divvy that up? And when it comes to Penix, how much do you give that guy, and how much do you give him in camp?
I mean, I don't think I would give Michael Penix a rep with our ones unless it was a day off for Kirk, or Kirk's not practicing. I would, Kirk is in Atlanta, new locker room, new people, new offensive coordinator and first-time offensive coordinator in Zach Robinson. And so, if we're being brutally honest here, this is also the first time that these skill position players have had like a bona fide starting quarterback as their guy. And so they need the reps with Kirk as much as Kirk may need the reps. And to take those reps away from a guy like Kirk Cousins and give them to Michael Penix when you're not banking on him playing this year, I think would be a little bit of a waste of time in that regard. Michael Penix would get a decent amount of my number 2 reps with him and Taylor Heineke to see if he could win that backup job right away. But this would be something where Kirk would get the great majority of them.
Yeah, and the way they balance that entire situation will certainly be judged by everybody. And if it ends up working out for them, they're going to take a victory lap on everybody's grave. Certainly a topic of conversation. We'll continue to chit-chat on YouTube, ESPN Plus, and TikTok, which needs to get figured out.
It does.
And then we'll be back tomorrow on ESPN. SportsCenter's in about 7 minutes. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice, even to refs. Cheers. Yeah, we got attacked by the NBA refs, Dano. Got attacked.
I saw that. I was watching.
Yeah, I didn't expect that when I signed up to do this every day.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Guy. Who's running that account, though? It's one guy. It's not every ref didn't base.
Is it legit account? Is it a legit account? I know there's a blue check mark, but nowadays I don't know if that matters.
Hey, man, Brian James Jr. got me. Brian James Jr. got me. Oh, you're taking off your shirt? Oh, we get it. You're jacked.
Nice.
Dan, Dan Orlovsky. Wow. We're still on TV, Dan.
Still on you?
No, you're not. I'm watching it right there.
Well, okay, you need to know that people are watching this right now. You need to know people are still watching.
Not on ESPN, though.
Oh, so you said tops off for Kreischer.
Yep.
That's what you said?
Can he do 40 push-ups like he can?
No chance.
Remember that?
How many push-ups?
I can do 40 straight push-ups.
You weigh 115 pounds. It would be lifting the bar. Oh, it was Connecticut.
Wow. Ruined a UConn Huskies basketball shirt.
Wow. Spit on.
I wouldn't say ruined.
Show the front of it.
You say ruined?
Show the front of it.
Ruined. Not ruined.
Yeah. This is like a workout shirt.
Yeah, ruined.
The Huskies.
Ruined.
He's got plenty of those.
Send that to D-Butts. It's a perfect shirt for him.
Then add the Dolphins on there.
Yeah.
Chargers. And Chargers.
F1.
Eagles.
Max Verstappen.
And Lando.
D-Butts got a question for you, though, Orlovsky.
Yeah, these quarterbacks, obviously, you're talking about the mental aspect of the game, and we know they're all talented. Tua, obviously, going into, I think, 3rd year now with Mike McDaniels, and Lamar's 2nd year with Todd. But physically, they're making some big changes, losing some weight, both of them. How do you feel about those quarterbacks going into the season with those big physical changes? What's your expectations for both of those guys going forward?
Yeah, I think with Tua, it'll be interesting to see if they get the contract done before the season. I remember last year there was a conversation around Tua because he added the weight, and it was a little bit in regards to trying to become as, durable as possible coming off of the concussions. And it was he hit the gym hard and tried to add some weight to absorb some of those hits. And maybe it's because it seems that, maybe the jiu-jitsu or whatnot really did help, I guess, when it comes to his ability to fall and whatnot and take some of those shots. And now he wants to become a little bit, because the one part of Tua's game that I think hasn't necessarily shown up or translated as much in the NFL as it did in college was Tua in college was this really sudden guy in the pocket. It was this twitchy, sudden, almost watching like a short space boxer work and move. And he hasn't necessarily been that guy in the NFL. Now it's a little bit of the comfort level, certainly attached to some of the injuries. And I want to see if maybe some of the weight that he's reportedly dropped this offseason brings a little bit of that element to his game back. Because if you can just get a little bit more movement-centric, if you're Tua in that offense, it expands, what defenses are willing to try and take away or stop. Because D-But, you know this, AJ, you know this. Like, if you can move just a little bit, it changes the way that defenders, got to have to play against you. And so I'll be interested if some of that weight loss impacts that.
Cameron Wolf of NFL Network said in a further follow-up interview after he put out a tweet on, I believe, was it Total Access? That show's done. NFL Total Access is
the
done.
Insiders is back.
They moved it.
The Insiders
Another one
prime
back.
time?
Yeah,
they are back.
We learned who top billing is. Tom Pelissero is the
He's the star of the show.
Yeah, he's the guy.
I didn't know that. Well, anyway, Cameron Wolf explained that the injuries with Tua, it wasn't about the size of Tua. It was about his landing. So the jiu-jitsu schooling and teaching did help him. They all agreed that. Yeah. So now he can lose the weight. It's not about how big you are. It's about how you fall was kind of the method. So him getting smaller, we love that. Lamar Jackson getting smaller. To D-But's point, we talked about this earlier. Lamar has an ability to miss people, not take like a huge hit. So that's why everybody's like, Lamar, you can't play like that. All you need is one hit from one of these guys. They were saying the first couple of years. And then Lamar has this ability to not take a massive shot. Like that's kind of a skill. So if he's lighter, faster, and still has the ability to miss people, feels like this is a good move for Lamar Jackson as well, especially if you have a guy like Derrick Henry and Patrick Ricard in the backfield alongside of you. I mean, this feels like a smart play. I like this for Lamar. I like it.
Yeah, I do too. We had Baltimore week 18 last year and got to sit with Lamar. And you definitely saw that he looked 15 pounds just thicker than maybe you were used to. Him faster blows my mind, and him shiftier and quicker blows my mind. The Ravens are really interesting, though, because I know everyone probably is undervaluing or underselling the Odell to Miami and no longer in Baltimore. But Odell was a relative solid piece for them when it came to winning one-on-ones and possessions. And, for Lamar, I have very little doubt that Lamar is going to play at an incredibly high level. But it will be, like, they got to bank on Zay Flowers taking the next step. They really do. And they got to bank on Bateman staying healthy. When Bateman's on the field, he's a good player. He's just got to really stay healthy and likely taking, like, that next step. Because, again, I know Odell isn't maybe what Odell used to be, but him not being there just for like that possession element or, hey, it's one-on-one, try to go win. I am going to be interested to see how that pass game takes the next step this year. I know the addition of Derrick Henry matters, but I want to see how that pass game takes the next step without that. Because, like, D-But, you know this too. Like, Zay is not your like possession guy on 3rd and 7, work the middle of the field off leverage, body guy. Neither is Bateman. Zay's get touches, vertical stretch. Bateman's a little bit of like win now type of guy. So I'll see how that grows.
He's gonna be in the bind with those with that 12 personnel set. Andrews stays healthy. Obviously, who came along and had a great year. So you got to put big bodies on the field to try to take care of Derrick Henry. And then one of these guys got to cover those tight ends. But I love Zay. I think Zay, obviously can do everything.
No doubt.
To your point, he is one of those big body guys who's kind of always open. Wherever you throw the ball, he can kind of generate that space. So I'm interested to see how that offense evolves.
How about Isaiah Likely?
Oh, yeah.
And Mark Andrews, you're talking about they need like a position. They got them. They got a couple of them. And then the addition, did you see Derrick Henry coming out?
He's so large.
How's that happen? How's he end up in Baltimore?
He looks great in purple, too.
He does. He looks fantastic. He looks like it's like the perfect home for him. I know he has, legendary career at the Tennessee Titans and took them very deep into the playoffs. And he was a guy. He just is like a perfect Raven, it feels like.
I mean, that's Roquan next one.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
AJ, did you ever tackle him?
No, I do not believe so. I think I got out before he got in, but I mean, good luck. I don't think I would have been able to.
What? He's Cam Newton size, right?
Uh-huh. He looks like Cam. Like he reminds me of Cam, like body size.
Bigger than Cam.
Well, like stockier.
Thicker.
I don't know.
Maybe
Close.
We saw that video.
Cam is
gets
gigantic.
We saw him throw those two dudes at his camp. I'd say they're about the same.
Cam was eye to eye with me when I was standing on a stage, and he was down on the ground. I'm like, Jesus, fuck.
He's so big.
Big, fast, strong. So like every single thing. And it's like Derrick Henry becoming a Raven. He's got Ricard leading the way for him. Right?
Yeah. They're all. I mean, They really gave the AFC title game away more so than credit Kansas City make some plays, but
it was punched away. It was punched just like Usyk did Tyson Fury.
That's right.
It was punched away right there at the end. I can't wait to see them do their thing, especially Lamar Jackson. Now, there's a quarterback. Whenever you talked about playing high level, that I don't think you think he has played there yet. And it might be agreed upon by all parties. Tone has a question for you. Dan, he's no longer wearing a cowboy hat. It's a new Tone.
Well, just today. Dano,
maybe.
I saw the reaction to your Trevor Lawrence talk yesterday on the internet last night. And for some reason, I think Jaguars fans think he's a top 8 quarterback potentially. I did it. I don't even know if he's a top 15, 16 maybe, but they're talking about giving him a $50 million a year extension because that's the going price for quarterbacks. Do you think he gets that? And if not, he's not going to take less than 50. So what do they do?
Yeah. So a couple things. I do think that when we talk about quarterbacks in the NFL, I very much so believe we have to stop the top 5 conversation because we leave guys out that are unquestionably top 5 players. We just have too many good ones. So I really believe that when we talk about these quarterbacks, it's got to be that top 8. If you're a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, you're flat out in a elite, your team wins because of you type of guy, at least top 8. In regards to Trevor, listen, I love Trevor Lawrence. I think he's going to be everything that he kind of was built to be as the number 1 pick. There's a couple of things. Number 1, he has not become that, oh my gosh, we're winning these games because of him guy yet. Do I think he's got the ability to get there? Absolutely. Obviously, there's a ton of pressure this year. I do not think that no question about it, we're paying this guy $50 million right now, unless you in the building are unequivocally convinced that he is going to become that guy. Because there's been moments, and last year it certainly trended that way coming off to that playoff comeback 2 years ago, but then the injuries to Kirk, and he never got on the same page consistently with Calvin Ridley. And then he had the injury himself. I love Trevor. I think he's a superstar talent. I saw D-Butt on social. He's probably going to get it, yes, just because the nature of the business. If I was Trevor Lawrence and they were offering me 40 or 45, would I run to sign it? No, I would not, because to D-Butt's point, it's just the nature of the business.
He's getting
in Florida.
I don't know. There's no way that we could sit here and say, this guy is Trevor Lawrence has, deserved or his play is earned, however one of you phrase it, the same as Joe Burrow or the same as Josh Allen or the same as Patrick or some of those guys that are even Kirk. Someone responded back to me yesterday. He's a top 8 quarterback. There's 8 right now that just came to the top of my head that are better. And
Go.
It doesn't mean he's not going to get there.
Do it.
Better. Patrick, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Stafford,
Drake May, Jordan
Kirk
Love,
Cousins, C.J. Stroud. I'm going by divisions now. Brock Purdy.
Anthony Richardson. That's 8.
Not yet.
Jordan Love.
I'm going by division.
Dak.
Jordan Love.
Goff.
Jared Goff.
That's 9.
Dak
we did that
Prescott.
European on the second one, fell first.
Prescott.
Jalen Hurts.
Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts.
Whoa.
Tua.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Yeah, Jalen,
whoa.
Philly
Tua,
guy.
Herbert. There's these. That's kind of the point of. There's way more than top 5 quarterbacks. There's way more.
Yeah, let's go back
And
to
also,
Jalen.
like-
Let's go back to Jalen. Where's he? Top 16, 17? How far do we need
20?
to? 30?
No, I think Jalen coming off of the Super Bowl year, you were convinced hey, he's top 5 just because of the way that he played. Last year he did not have that same season. They didn't run him as much or as effectively and whatnot. So
Lose Shane Steichen.
That too.
Yeah. Huge.
yeah, Steichen's brilliant. So it's fair to say we want to see what Jalen gets back to under Kellen Moore. That's fair to say.
Yeah. How's Tua going to do? He's going to do great. You put him up there. Who else? He put. I like Jordan
there's
Love
12
going up
of them
there.
right there.
Dak in the
Jordan Love.
Cowboys.
Dak Prescott going up there. We think
Sam
this.
Howell.
Cousins.
Did you hear Tom Brady what he said about Dak?
Oh, when he was see if he could finally get it done or whatever.
Yeah. And it's did that slip out? Good personality.
Yeah, it wasn't playing.
He's gonna crush those games.
That was good.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I think he'll do well.
Do you?
Breaks my heart for Greg, but
Are you calling any games this year? You doing college ball? Monday Night Football?
I don't know yet. We've got 4 or 5 the Monday night doubleheaders.
I do know.
And then, I did the international Frankfurt game for NFL Network last year. They've got a couple of them, so I don't know if I'll get into any of them.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I'd like to get a college football
They're going
playoff
to
game.
stiff him with the poop bowl.
Yep.
What happened?
No.
Giants.
Carolina
No.
and the Giants.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you're going. Yeah, you're definitely going there. Germany.
Have fun, Dan.
Hey, I've been told by numerous people that game could be good. That game could be good.
Oh, is that right?
Could be.
It will.
Carolina Panthers, New
Bryce
York
Young.
Giants. Absolutely, could figure it out.
Just-
Alice down there.
They're saying that about Pat's Colts.
I've heard
last year,
Munich
too
sick,
in the
though,
offseason.
so.
Munich is. I mean, the German fans are very, very much in love with the sport, and
Yeah.
Didn't
It's
we
also,
see-
dude, like, you get the opportunity to call an NFL game that is standalone. Like, that's awesome.
all eyes on me. Is that what you said?
Look at me.
Yeah, don't fart.
Tupac or
I mean, for me to be able to call those, like, I shouldn't be able to call those. Like,
Dan, we think you should, but we think you're good.
Come on,
I think
Dan.
you're good in the booth, Dan.
Great on there.
No Chase Daniel.
Well, thank you, but there's still, that's at least my perspective of it. So yeah, that. So we'll see. We'll see what the fall brings.
All right, we appreciate you joining us. Are you doing off season stuff? Like, is NFL Live still going, or because remember he does regular season all day,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then he just disappears for months.
Yeah, well, but he still puts out his
I worked yesterday.
cryptic tweets.
Yeah, I saw him yesterday.
You were on TV yesterday. What was that all
Sleeves
about?
on.
That's weird. You all right?
I'm great.
Those couple weeks too. Those cryptic tweet season Orlovsky's always fun too.
He shot one out this morning.
I almost sent one out too. For Dan Orlovsky.
Of course, why not? I might start doing that.
Yeah, for Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah.
How many days away from NFL football?
107 days. We are very, very close.
It's almost
999 days till the Super Bowl is on ESPN.
all right.
We're not counting that way.
I like that. That's a big deal. Are you going to be a part of the coverage?
I mean, that's 999 days away, so I have no idea. I hope so.
I think you would know by now.
Yeah.
That's not good.
4 years.
So long.
Send a couple tweets.
3 years away.
All right, Dan, we appreciate you, buddy. We miss you over here. We need you to stop by more. We didn't know you were working.